All right, so I just broke down the $1,500 scholarship I won for rugby in the form of a piece of paper. So I'm just going to web it out really quick. So it said U.S. residents, SUNY Cortland full-time. Activities were sports, clubs, government, all of which I did. Rugby was one. I was in education club, and I didn't do anything with student government. But academic achievement, I had a good GPA, so that worked out too. And they were only going on a semester and a half too. I think when they were looking at my GPA, it was probably a 3.2. I think I had a 3.2 that first semester. So that was all of that. But I did the one thing that gave me the top on the list, and that was I played rugby. And there's a ton of scholarships out there like that that have that one thing that they're looking for. Funny thing is, and I remembered this the other day, there was a female student who went to Spain the same time I went to Ecuador. And she was in Spanish honors, which I was never good enough in Spanish to be in Spanish honors. I was like a B student. She was on the women's rugby team. And she was involved in clubs. So she had a better GPA than I did. She was doing the same thing, the one criteria that there was here, and she was also involved in clubs. And I remember when I heard about that, I was like, oh no, I have competition. And so one day I just asked her about her trip to Spain and planning and everything that she was doing, and I asked her how she was paying for it, just subtly in conversation. You know what she told me? She said, I'm just going to take loans. She obviously did not know this existed, and I didn't tell her. But this was a student candidate who was a better candidate for this award than I was. The difference was she did not apply. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen this, because think about it. How do we ever educate you about the college process in general, but also how to apply for scholarships? Whoever sat down with you and said, hey, there's a scholarship here, do this. Most students came out of high school, and if they didn't have a full ride scholarship, at that point they just gave up and said, well, I'm not a scholarship student out of high school, so I probably won't be later on. And it's because of that scholarships are not applied for as widely as they should be. And that's kind of what I want to teach you, is that if you're looking to do something interesting and big and like traveling and study abroad, you want to look at the awards and what's available. And people think that, well, everybody else is going to apply, and I have 5 people in my major who I know are smarter than me or more active or doing other things that would be better applicants for the awards. But you honestly don't know if they're going to apply. Because most likely, if they're like a lot of students, they'll just do the deadlines based on the bare minimum of what they have to do, and they won't look deeper into the scholarships. And a lot of study abroad advisors may not tell students about it in the general advisement session, depending on how they advise. So finding the awards, if you think that scholarships are these things that everybody's applying for and they're really selective, I can tell you, because I've been on scholarship committees where we do the rating, that they're not. They're not overly applied for. They're not super competitive. And if you do what I did and you have a year to plan and you make yourself into the type of candidate who knows what the award is looking for, and then you do what needs to be done, you can go against the student who is better in every other category and have still a good chance of winning. There's no guarantees with scholarship. Again, it's like an investment in the stock market. There's no guarantee that you're ever going to see your money again. But if you're willing to take the planned, calculated risk to say, well, I'm going to try for this, and because I think it's going to work out, then you've got a shot at doing it. So when it comes to the scholarship, the reason I showed you this was not to tell you what I did. It was to show you that you can walk into the door of your institution where you're looking to go to college, and you can find the same similar setups in different scholarships that can help you. You can do this too. I wasn't the best candidate for the award as far as grades or my club activities, but I was when it came to the students who applied. And that's how you get the award.